What keeps us going when there's no hope in sight? Hey, it's Andrea from Ladies First, and today we're taking a look back at the first Hunger Games movie through the lens of Viktor Frankl's Man's Search for Meaning, a book about surviving the unthinkable by choosing how we respond to what we can't control. Frankl was a Holocaust survivor and psychiatrist who lost almost his entire family. He endured years in concentration camps where people were stripped of everything except their will. What he found was that survival often came down to meaning. When people had something to live for, they had a reason to endure. Katniss Everdeen isn't in a concentration camp, but her world operates on the same principle: take away choice and break the spirit. And like Frankl, Katniss learns how to hold on to herself, to others, and to meaning in a system designed to take that away. But that kind of resilience doesn't start with grand gestures. It starts with one decision. Lesson 1: you can always choose your attitude. Frankl wrote, "Everything can be taken from a man but one thing, the last of the human freedoms, to choose one's attitude in any given set of circumstances." Katniss knows survival better than most. She lives in District 12, the poorest part of Panem, a place where hunger is constant and hope is rare. After her father died in a mining explosion, she became the one holding her family together while her mother slipped into depression. She hunts, she trades, she protects, especially when it comes to her younger sister Prim. So when Prim is chosen as a tribute for the Hunger Games, an annual televised event where children are forced to fight to the death, Katniss steps forward and yells the words that change everything.
"I volunteer as tribute!"
She knows exactly what she's signing up for. The Hunger Games are almost always a death sentence, but her love for Prim, the need to protect her, becomes the thing she clings to as everything else is stripped away. Katniss and Peter are pulled from the coal-stained edges of District 12 and brought to the capital, a city that feels engineered for excess. Everything is polished, bright, and over-designed. But beneath the spectacle is control. The tributes are clean, costumed, trained, and paraded before a crowd that consumes their fear as entertainment. The capital doesn't just expect performance, it demands submission. Peter, on the other hand, follows their mentor Haymitch's advice. He uses charm in interviews and admits his feelings for Katniss so both of them can win over the audience. Meanwhile, Katniss keeps her distance. She stays focused on her goal of making it back to her family. When the game makers begin to ignore her during her private session, she doesn't try to please them. She draws her bow and sends an arrow through the apple in their roast pig. It's precise and deliberate, a signal that she sees what's happening and won't shrink to fit it. Still, the capital pays attention. Cinna's fire costume makes her unforgettable. The star-crossed lovers storyline gives the audience something to believe in. But what holds their attention is Katniss herself. She can't control the arena or stop the capital from sending her into it, but she can decide how to carry herself, what she'll protect, what she won't become. Lesson 2: suffering needs a why. Frankl believed that suffering without meaning breaks us, but suffering with meaning gives us strength. He wrote, "If there is meaning in life at all, then there must be meaning in suffering." In the arena, Katniss doesn't immediately fight to win. She hides and avoids conflict. She's trying to survive the way she always has, by staying out of sight. Then, when she's cornered by the Careers and Peter, she was able to save herself with the help of another tribute, Rue. Rue is small, smart, and impossibly kind. She reminds Katniss of Prim, so much so that protecting her begins to feel like a second chance. The two form an alliance not just for strategy, but for trust, warmth, and connection, things that have been scarce since Katniss entered the capital. And when Rue is killed, Katniss doesn't move on, she stays. She sings to her, she lays flowers on her body, then she looks straight into the camera to honor Rue's life. Not as a tribute, but as a child. Because the capital's real weapon isn't violence, it's narrative control. They turn suffering into spectacle, but Katniss disrupts all of that. Rue's death and Katniss's refusal to let it pass quietly spark unrest where Rue is from, District 11. People riot in solidarity, and for a moment, the capital loses its grip. Katniss couldn't save Rue, but she gave her death dignity and meaning. It also gave Katniss something bigger than survival to hold onto. Lesson 3: transcend yourself. Frankl believed that when we focus only on our own survival, we shrink. But when we act for others, for a cause, or for someone we love, we become fully human. When the rules change to allow two winners from the same district, she doesn't hesitate. She finds Peter injured, bleeding, barely alive, and she helps him just as he's helped her time and time again. She nurses him back, risks her life for medicine, and shares what little she has. It's the kind of humanity the games are designed to kill. So just as they thought they had won the game, the rules change again. There can only be one victor. But Katniss refuses to give them that. She doesn't look at Peeta and see an opponent. She sees someone who stood beside her, who shared her fear, who never once tried to win at her expense. And she realizes the Capitol is still trying to turn them into something they're not, so she chooses a different ending. She pulls out the poisonous nightlock berries and offers Peeta a way for both of them to exit the arena on their terms. No bloodshed, no victor. If they go through with it, the Capitol loses its control, not just over the players, but over the entire narrative. That threat is enough. The rule is reversed once again, and both Katniss and Peeta are declared winners. Publicly, it's celebrated as a romantic victory for the so-called star-crossed lovers of District 12, but the people in power, especially President Snow, know exactly what happened. Katniss broke the frame the Capitol built around her. She made a choice they didn't write. She disrupted the order by choosing compassion over survival, loyalty over spectacle, and millions of people watched her do it. Her ability to reach beyond herself, to protect, to choose compassion, was what gave people hope. It's also what made her more than a survivor. It's what made her a symbol for the revolution to come. Viktor Frankl and Katniss Everdeen lived in two different worlds, one shaped by history, the other by fiction. But their messages are the same. You may not get to choose your circumstances, you may not get to stop the suffering, but you do get to choose who you become in the midst of it. Whether it's through love, responsibility, courage, or sacrifice, meaning is always within reach. And when we choose meaning, we choose life. Katniss isn't a hero in the way stories usually define one. She's not trying to save the world. She's just trying to survive it, with her humanity and her purpose still intact. And sometimes, that's the most radical thing a person can do. So if you're in a dark place right now, ask yourself, what can I still choose? Can you choose kindness? Can you choose connection? Can you choose purpose? Because even in the worst conditions, even when everything else is taken, your choices are still yours, and that's where real power lives. Now I want to hear from you. Was there a time in your life when you almost lost hope, and what helped bring you back? If this sparked a flame in you, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to Ladies First.